All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host on my left, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andrew T. Ruther.
I'm going to start off a little somber today. We do not have twerks with wolves. The wildfires.
The wildfires got him. We got him.
He was unable to make the drive because crazy wildfires again out here. The roads were closed.
It's very untwerks with wolves like. He should have thought about his native past and hiked through the woods.
Well, that's what I was thinking, man. He's got the Native American blood in him.
Yeah.
He couldn't make it through the fires. You know? Not to make excuses, but come on.
Classic twerks.
I told him he should have taken some of his White Claw and put out the
How
fires.
bad are these fires right now? Like,
They're pretty bad.
is he in danger up there? Because he had to evacuate recently. But he's not evacuating. He just can't get out. Now he can't travel.
I think it's more.
This is more suspicious than the Jameis Winston story that we'll get to later. A lot of holes in this twerks with wolves. He's evacuated, but he can't leave.
No, I don't. I think the problem is they've closed off.
Suspect.
You're calling him suspect.
I'm calling. At some point, every intern gets you suspect.
Yeah. The fires are on the 405, right?
Yeah.
By the Getty. So he technically doesn't live there. He's up in Malibu or Palisades.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe some roads were closed off. I don't know. I can't keep track of these fires anymore.
Yeah. A lot of fire.
The whole outside smells down here. It smells like a giant
I was in the
bonfire.
valley. I was in the valley end of last week, and coming back, it was just like the whole like highway and everything. It just had like a yellow tint over it. There was just a smoke cover.
Yeah.
It was like the sun was just shining through this yellow tint.
Do I need to bring back my Waze tweet to
get back on Australian newspapers,
yeah,
shit like that?
To troll more people?
Yeah, you should.
I got a DM last week about a video I posted last year. They're trying to make a law where street vendors don't have to have as strict, they don't have to have as strict guidelines to sell
as restaurants.
To sell the street hot dogs.
Right.
And remember I posted that video before the Rams game last year where like asshole cops came in and there was a bunch of workers basically selling the hot dog stands outside of the Coliseum and they were they were just knocking them over.
Right.
And I posted that and somebody reached out to me like, were you?
And you got a lot of like MAGA folks in the things being like, get a real license to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Lock them up. Lock them up.
But this was
Lock them up came back to haunt him, huh?
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. The World Series last night just tits out, lock them up chance, the Ruther curse.
Is this an all-time Ruther curse?
I mean, it's all an all-time Ruther curse. Like it's unbelievable what you're able to do. Lock you up. Lock him up. Lock him up. You should be like fucking Magneto in X-Men. They should put you in a box where you can't, like in a glass plastic box so that you can't curse other people's teams. Literally, there are fans of our show that watch and they're going like, wait, he just guaranteed my team's going to win. And they fucking want to kill themselves. They're 3-0 since you marked them as dead.
Not just 3-0.
0% chance.
Not just 3-0.
Yeah.
Like, they're easily winning these games.
Yeah. Now, I am a Mets fan, so I am vehemently against the NL East. So whatever happens, you cannot make any predictions on what's going to happen in the World Series from here on out unless it's I'm sticking with my claim that the Astros have no chance. Well, don't do it. I see you. I see your lip quivering over there. Lock him up. We're gonna have to do like a fucking Hannibal Lecter thing on you where you're like muzzled. a ball gag in your mouth during playoffs.
I have a ball gag.
Good. Put it in your mouth. Stop cursing teams.
I believe it was Bo Blaha who sent that to me in the mail. I have a pink ball gag somewhere in my closet.
Incredible.
DirtBall sent some weird shit.
Yeah.
So I was telling somebody about that the other day. This girl was like, wait a second. Your podcast listeners have your address. And I was like, you can find anybody's address. She's like, but seriously, you don't worry. She's like, just get a P.O. box. I go, nah.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
It's too late for you to get a P.O. box. Your address is all over the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too late.
It's too late.
Also, like you said, people can find your I worry, though. I for sure worry.
About you or me?
About everybody. I mean, I feel like I antagonize more people than you do, but you're also now cursing full teams. So somebody could angrily come out. But I always think, like, I'm certain that I'm going to die by, like, some angry sniper on the roof of the Hotel Irwin for some, like, anti-military or anti-God shit I say. Some Jesus-loving former Marine sniper is going to shoot me coming out my back door.
Might be
he's like, I'll show you kneeling while the fucking anthem plays.
It might be Jameis1of1.
Yeah.
He considers himself a Jesus-loving guy. Once again, we'll get to that later in the show.
We'll get that. We got to tease the James. You think you've heard enough about Jameis1of1. You think we were over it.
We were
totally over it. This guy is a ludicrous, crazy person. But now it's come full circle. There is a conspiracy theory, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. We have some hot takes.
By the way, just to tease it, A. Millie is the one that exposed fucking what's her name?
Spunky. And once again,
A. Millie's like a fucking. He can sniff out a rat.
I agree. I think A. Millie what correspondent? What will we title him?
The rat correspondent, the rat sniffer.
And he's been with us, basically 5 years.
Yeah.
He's been with the show from the start.
Yeah.
Our Bayou guy
He's
down
like
there.
Captain Fugazi. When he sees a fucking Fugazi, he can fucking. He's like, that's a Fugazi. A fucking Fugazi? A Fugazi.
That's a great point, Prano. He did call out the Spunky thing with the infamous post a picture holding a spoon and a fork.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
He's fucking Captain Fugazi.
Well, I've used that. I've used that on girls, I think, that are trying to, like, catfish me when I've been on dating sites. I've used
Send
this.
a picture with a fork?
Yeah. They'll be like, what? I go, send me a picture right now of you holding a fork. It's nothing sexual.
Has it happened? Have you gotten girls to do that? Or are those the ones that disappear?
I have gotten girls to do that. I was like, okay, just making sure.
Captain Fork. Captain Fugazi. Fucking A. Millie down there.
Yeah. But we'll get to that.
A. Millie's gone down the fucking swamp. Came out with some fucking gators.
It's almost like the show. I don't know if you ever watched it.
You know where you find catfish, by the way? Fucking the muddy swamps.
I know.
Yeah. Old catfish hunter.
Did you ever watch the show Swamp People?
We need a catfish hunter baseball card with A. Millie on it.
I think A. Millie was in the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
You ever watch the show Swamp People?
No.
It's about people who live down the bayou
by the swamp.
And catching alligators.
Yeah.
Because, there's a season where...
I'm watching LSU season. Is that what we're talking about? Fuck me a gator.
LSU's #1 now, man.
Are they? Fuck yeah.
You know what's crazy? I've never seen college football like this, where teams don't lose, but there's so many good teams that...
Quality of wins is moving the rankings around?
Yeah. So LSU's 1, Bama's 2, and then Ohio State's right there. Ohio State's beating the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Top 10, top 15 teams. It's crazy, man. They have a bye, but LSU, Bama, a week from this Saturday.
Got it. Both teams have byes? No.
I'm not sure.
LSU has a bye. That's what you're saying. LSU has a bye and then Bama?
I think.
That works out pretty nicely.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
But I want to get back to the World Series.
Let's do it. Let's get back to the World Series.
I can't believe
that you did this.
I mean, I really destroyed the Nationals.
Yeah. I mean, I said it. I was saying to you before the show. I was saying because we've seen this Astros team. Now, last year, were they up 2-0 on the Red Sox and then lost 4 straight?
I don't remember.
either way, this Astros team in the World Series against the Dodgers, throughout this like mini run that they've had, they have been a team that can just go on tears, hitting bunches, unless they're out. It ain't over till it's over with this Astros team. And I was just getting ready to like start talking about that when you cut me off last episode, 2 episodes ago, and we're like, nope, 0% chance, 0% chance they win.
Yeah.
0. They're done. You said they're getting swept. It's remarkable.
I felt momentum. Obviously, I was wrong.
Scherzer fucking gets scratched. Like I didn't. You're like taking guys out. You're like ending livelihoods at this point.
Yeah.
Like Scherzer's family now has to deal with a debilitating disc injury because of you.
Trump showed up to the game because of me.
Yeah.
It was not going to happen previously, I heard.
I mean, the speaking of Trump, the one good thing is you've guaranteed his victory in the next election.
Minus impeachment.
Yeah, you've guaranteed it. So
yeah, I have. He's gonna win.
For all the liberals out there, they're excited that you've put your stink on Donald Trump.
He's gonna win again, regardless. That's one. I'm more confident of that one than I was of the Astros getting swept.
I mean, you said 0% chance.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, how much more confident can you be?
Hot takes gone wrong. I mean, are they not going to put us on freezing cold takes? Come on, guys. I tagged you.
You're Mr. Freeze at this point.
I mean, come on, Fred. I had you on the show. I should send him a text. Like, come on, man. Could this be more of a wrong take? It's on film, me saying 0% chance.
Didn't we do an Andy Ruther is Mr. Freeze once before?
I think we might have.
Remember Mr. Freeze had all like the terrible puns? I need to start getting the Ruther Freeze terrible puns.
I'll tell you what. There's going to be a lot more cold takes. Although my cold takes
I'm not saying my nationalist take was cold, but my nipples are hard. Freezing cold, Ruther.
Hey man, titties came out. Or am I going to get any credit for the girls showing their breasts?
I don't know. Were you responsible for that at all?
It could be.
Somebody blowing somebody out here? Like, what's going on? Do you want me to close that, Andy?
No, he'll be done in a second.
Okay.
I
feel like normally you would have gotten up and done it already, but you've got your earphones on today, so you're sort of tethered to the couch.
No, he just blows the stuff, which does nothing. This is what he does every day.
Okay.
If it's still annoying you, I can.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah. We don't have Aaron again. We don't. This is where Aaron will come in handy. But he's currently battling wildfires.
This guy's taking it up to 11 out there. This guy's going Spinal Tap.
It's funny because he normally is done by now, and I feel like now he's just trolling me.
You Andy Ruther cursed the leaf blower guy. He'll be done any second. He's like, today I stay twice as long, and I take it to 11.
You know, the thing is though, I don't even know if the listeners can hear. A lot of times,
probably not.
A lot of times they can't hear.
Probably not. I mean, they can't hear Matty Goldberg when the microphone's this far away from his face. Safe to say they can't hear the leaf blower that's 25 yards from here.
Yeah, the boobs thing was an interesting publicity stunt. Now the girls are claiming they did it for breast cancer today after all the blowback. No, you weren't. You're some Instagram tot.
I said it's a terrible publicity stunt because I don't know who these people are.
Some Instagram models, LA-based girls, of course.
So they flew to the World Series just to show their tits?
Yeah.
That's pretty great. I mean, as far as publicity stunts go, I'm in favor.
I mean, I told you, I screenshot it. The one girl's added over 100,000 Instagram followers since last night. So that was worth it.
Yeah.
When are we going to see dong, though?
What was that a request?
Yeah, let me see some dong. Let's tits are kind of played out. It'd be a lot funnier if somebody was exposing their dong.
Did Lieutenant Dangle's dong come out at all at any of your 11 Halloween parties?
No, but you bring up an interesting point. There was a debate about that. I wanted to go without underwear because that's what Lieutenant Dangle would do.
I never watched the show.
Okay. So my point is, like, his junk was all out there.
Okay.
So I wanted to go without underwear, but the shorts were so short. I was worried that, like, you know, in this day and age, a girl, like, accidentally.
Honestly, I did. So Lachlan and I had a bet on Kooks of Comedy, Rip Kooks, where loser had to surfing in a bikini.
Okay.
And
yeah, I know.
I lost.
Yeah.
And I wore like briefs underneath because I was like, I don't want to go out on the beach in this bikini.
Yeah.
And if it falls out, be like you always hear like, oh, it fell out and there was a kid 30 yards away, and now I'm like on the sex crimes list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm with you with that. And Lachlan was so mad at me, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but like, unless you want to give me like a chick's, like a big girl's bikini bottom that's gonna cover my whole shit. He's like, no, you gotta wear like you gotta wear like a tight bikini bottom. I was like, my junk is gonna fall out. I'm not getting arrested over this.
Well, that was my take, was that there's not much room, and let's say a girl brushes, it's a bar, right? It's going to be a packed bar. Let's say a girl brushes by me and brushes by my junk. It's a small piece of cloth, and then it turns into he rubbed his dick on my ass. I wanted to avoid all that. And although a couple of people that we went with, one of the girls was like, you cannot wear underwear. Like your dick has to pop out. And I was like, yeah, you're saying that because you know me and you think it'll be funny. But again, like you're saying, the last thing I want. And then she's like, yeah, dude, it's true though. If you got a boner, like girls are dressed slightly. Like, what if I got a boner? There's no protection.
You're an adult, right? You're not like seeing hot girls in costumes getting boners, are you?
I mean, you never know.
That'd be a wild 37-year-old move.
Most likely not, but you never know, dude. You can't predict a boner. Just like I can't predict the World Series. You cannot predict a boner. But no, nothing too.
How was the party, though? Was it worth being a guy who went out 5 days before Halloween in a costume?
I mean, you are really going to die on this.
I'm not dying on it. I'm just bringing it. I'm just wanting to know how it was.
It was all right. I just find it hard to believe, like I tweeted at you, that you've never gone out before actual Halloween to a party.
I can say with...
I guarantee you have.
I can say with most certainty that I haven't. Like, in fact, I remember I brought up the Halloween party that we had at the 131. I would go out and do Halloween things and be the guy not in costume. In fact, I once went to a party at Pizza Staro's place prior to us having a party at my place, and I was not in costume there. Like, you're not in costume. I was like, yeah, it's not Halloween.
Yeah, but I thought Schiavelli had an interesting take, especially with college. And then I reminded me of myself. I was in a fraternity. You had Halloween parties, right? Sororities had Halloween parties. You're telling me you're not, like, let's say it's the 27th or 28th, whatever day it is. You're not supposed to dress up for that party in college?
Like I responded, in college, we partied all the fucking time. So I went out on Thursday in college more than I went out on Saturday. That's facts.
I know, but my point again is this. Most people are going to, especially in college, have the party on the weekend and then also, and then also have it on Halloween.
Again, this Friday is one day from Halloween. Friday is the day after Halloween.
I bet
you went out on the 26th of October.
Well, a lot of people were dressed up.
I know. Listen, a lot of people are dressed up. Avocado toast is the #1 selling fucking thing in America. Blah, 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 blah. Millennials have taken over. And I tweeted at you. I don't care that you can Google your dates all you want. You go out on the 26th of October in costume, you're a millennial.
It's not a millennial
I don't care
thing.
if you're 60 years old.
I was out, though, Joe. I'd say, it wasn't all millennials. Not even close.
I would argue that it was. Millennial is a state of mind.
You're unbelievable.
Millennial is a state of mind. If you have 11 words in your coffee order, you're like, no foam,
but hold on,
low fat, cap.
You talk about me
in a large glass.
This
but
is a hill.
A medium coffee in a large glass so that I can put, MCT oil in it.
This is a hill.
Whatever.
You're dying
You're
on.
A millennial.
This is your hill. You're dying. You talk about me dying on the White Claw hill. You're gonna die on the hill of people getting dressed up and celebrating Halloween. Like, that's what you're dying on.
No, I'm not. I said that to every single person who replied to me. I think dressing up on Halloween is fantastic. on Halloween. I also believe that you should open your gifts on Christmas morning, that you should fucking deep fry a turkey on Thanksgiving Day. How many times have you raised on, like, Friendsgiving? Oh, you're doing a Friendsgiving on, like, the 14th? You're having all your friends over and doing a fuck you. Friendsgiving is fucking some millennial bullshit. Have Thanksgiving.
You can open your presents on Christmas Eve.
Ugh. If you're a pagan.
No.
Has Santa even come yet? Is this guy working is he working the early shift now?
Well, the Ruther family tradition on Christmas Eve was...
One gift?
It was this. You got to open... We had Kris Kringles with our family, right? The Secret Santa, we call him Kris Kringles. You got to present to your Kris Kringle in the family, whether it was a sibling or a parent, hey, I was your Secret Santa. Here's your gift. Christmas Eve.
That's okay. It's a fine tradition.
Oh, you're gonna make exceptions.
No, this is your thing. Like, okay, you're doing that, and then all the stuff under the tree. Get up on Christmas morning, you do your thing. But also, we're not talking about you didn't go out on Halloween Eve because that was a Saturday. You just opened your Christmas presents on the 19th of December, bro.
24th.
I'm saying in Halloween terms, you went out 5 days before fucking Halloween.
Yeah.
You just opened your presents on the fucking 20th of December.
I'm not going to feel bad about it. I got invited to go out with some people, the mayor and some people, and I went out. And I had a lovely time. And
now are you going out on Halloween again?
Yeah, I'm going to go out.
Are you Lieutenant Dangling again?
I'm Lieutenant Dangling 3 times. I've already told you this.
Are you dry cleaning this costume in between?
No. I'm going to do Lieutenant Dangle on the 30th and then on the 31st. I'm hitting 3 parts of town. I did Venice.
You're the Heidi Klum of the Dirty Sports Podcast. You take fucking Halloween way too seriously.
But I don't. I'm just let a guy live a little, man. I don't go out that much. Let a guy live. I don't drink.
I know. You should go out more often. You should go out. You should just go out to the townhouse, and you should go out to James Beach, just like on regular Thursdays.
Who am I going out with, though?
Me? I live here. You go out anytime you want. You want to go to fucking James Beach sometime?
You would go out with me?
Of course. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
Don't be the guy who only goes out on. Is there something wrong with you mentally where you can only be out while you're in disguise?
No.
People like regular Andy Ruther too.
Thank you, Joe.
You don't have to be Lieutenant Dangle to talk to people.
No, I know.
You can be Andy Ruther and talk to people.
Oh, I know.
Come out sometime. It's fun out there.
Maybe I will. I mean, Friday I completely flaked. Like, I was supposed to meet this girl at the Brig, and then I just was like, I can't. Like,
did you feel uncomfortable in your own skin? And you were like, tomorrow I get to go out as someone else?
No, here's what happened. I got a girl's number Thursday after my show.
Did you get diarrhea from too much MCT oil in your matcha latte?
I got a girl's number Thursday after my show, and she texted me Friday. My show was in Echo Park, so for people who don't know, it's the other side of town. And she also lives there, complete other side of town.
Whoa, wait, hold on. She lives in Echo Park. She was coming to the Brig?
On Friday, she texted me. She goes, dude, I'm going to be at the Brig tonight. Meet up.
First of all, dude, I'm going to be at the Brig tonight means I'm coming to Venice to see you.
No, but it wasn't. Here's the thing. I said, do you want me to meet you there, or do you want to walk? I go, I live about 10-minute walk. Do you want to meet over in my hood and walk over there? And she goes, well, I'm rolling with a group of people, which then that changed everything for me. Like, she was rolling with a group. So in my head, I was like, she's young, too. She's 24, dude. And I was like, do I want to meet a bunch of young, early 20s people at the Brig? And then she texted me, I'll get there around 9:30, 9:45. And I had showered. I had put on my clothes to go out, everything. I was sitting on my couch. And then, I don't know what hit me, man. I was like, I don't know if I can handle the Brig tonight. All these young kids, they're going to be all fucked up, and I'm going to be sober, and now I'm going to meet. It would be different if I was just meeting her, and
It'd be different if you were Lieutenant Dangling. But Andy Ruther doesn't feel comfortable in social situations anymore. You're basically the Joker. You're basically Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
She texted me the next day. She goes, what happened, dude? You never showed up. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm weird, man. I don't know.
I agree. You're weird.
God, at least I don't have to go to therapy this week. Did we just settle it?
Yeah, I mean, next time you go to therapy, talk to your therapist about you can only go out dressed as in disguise.
Do you know my therapist?
See what he says about that.
Did you tell me this? Or because I found out again, but you might have told me before I looked it up. You know my therapist owned Bill Buckner's ball?
I told you that.
And I forgot.
Yeah.
He sold Bill Buckner's ball.
Yeah.
For $418,000. He's a baseball collector.
Yeah. It's cool just to have had it at one point, though.
You know who he got it from? According to the article on Deadspin? Charlie Sheen.
Oh, yeah. I did know that.
So Charlie Sheen owned the Bill Buckner ball, and my therapist got it apparently for $60,000 from Charlie Sheen.
So Charlie Sheen could buy crack.
And then he sold it for $418,000.
It's a solid investment.
Bro, talk about an ROI. Unbelievable. Do the Houston Astros close it out in Game 6? Verlander pitching?
Verlander will pitch. It'll be Verlander-Strasburg.
Good pitching duel.
I think they do. I predicted Astros in 6 when they were down 0-2. That certainly seemed in question. Verlander has not pitched great in the playoffs so far. He's pitched not great in the World Series overall. I think that has more to do with overwork than anything. But I just think that they're going to hit regardless. I just think momentum now, you had talked about the momentum of the Nationals. The momentum of winning 3 on the road and then coming back home for a Game 6. If this was a Game 6 in Washington, I'd almost guarantee that it was going 7. But to go home, the energy in Houston is going to be crazy. Look, it really, I think, comes down to Strasburg. Verlander can pitch how he's going to pitch. Astros hit how they hit. Nationals hit. But, like, if you get a dominating performance from Strasburg, that is the Nationals' opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think that I do think it's Astros.
Yeah.
I think it's Astros tomorrow night.
It's going to be electric in there. That's a fun place to play.
Yeah.
Now, if you were a Houston area dirtball, Joe, and you wanted to get tickets to Game 6, what app out there could you get those tickets on?
I mean, is it possible that there's even an app that would allow you to get into a potential Game 6 World Series clinching win? Is it possible that it even exists?
There is an app.
You're not like you have to go through the streets just handing some guy money in a back alley?
No, you don't have to do any of that. You can do it from the comfort of your own home simply by downloading the SeatGeek app.
SeatGeek!
And the best part is you can see exactly where you're going to sit for that World Series game. SeatGeek has tickets for any live event, guys. Sports, comedy, music, Broadway, you name it. Hop on the SeatGeek app, download the app, because the best part about SeatGeek is that they will even give you $10 off on your first SeatGeek purchase. All you need to do is use our promo code. So download the SeatGeek app today and use promo code DIRTY for $10 off on your first purchase. That's promo code DIRTY for $10 off on your first purchase. And shout out to some of our hooligan balls across the pond in the UK, because I know some dirt balls over there used SeatGeek promo code DIRTY to go to some of the NFL London games.
Now, speaking of the London games, since you just brought it up, I thought you went a little too far yesterday. Cuck Cam London seems wrong.
Yeah, let's discuss this. I think it's a good show discussion.
Cuck, you get a little loosey goosey with the Cuck Cam sometimes, if you ask me. I think there are some rules, and you get a little loose with the rules. But, like, you were cucking London fans.
Well, here's the deal. A dirtball from England tweeted at us. He was at the game. Was I not supposed to retweet those?
I mean, I'm just saying you were cucking those people. You were cuck camming them. I thought that was a bit much.
I agree.
It's like what are they supposed to just only wear Bengals jerseys? Like,
or Rams.
Who owns a fucking Bengals jersey in London?
Well, look, I agree that it's a little different this is how I describe the London games from a cuck cam perspective. The NFL games played in the UK, it's a cuck bowl. The entire stadium.
Yeah. But I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. But I'm just having fun. I'm going to retweet it. And here's my thing to anybody listening or anybody who's follows us on social media. When people take the time to take pictures, I'm going to retweet
There
it.
was an all-time – meanwhile, there was also an all-time cuck cam yesterday. The four guys walking into whatever game that was where some guy had the fucking Peyton Manning college jersey on and something like that was like the all-time worst cuck group I've ever seen.
An all-time level?
The four dudes together? Couldn't have been that far back, wasn't it? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Here it is.
You have a Teddy Bridgewater Louisville jersey, fucking Hauschka Seattle jersey, a Peyton Manning Tennessee jersey, and what's the fucking Howard's first name on the Bears? And is he even on the Bears anymore?
What is Howard's name? The running back.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
And that was all for Denver, Indianapolis.
In Indy. So shout out to Eric Drake
who
sent us that.
That is those, and they're all, by the way, they're all going with hoodies under their jersey. All of them. All of them hoodies under their jerseys. Those guys for sure dressed up on Saturday night. Those guys for sure went out in Halloween costumes. That's your people right there.
So somebody gave.
That's your people.
I'm going to ignore that comment. Somebody gave.
Their only excuse is that they're in Halloween costumes.
Well, somebody.
As a fucking bunch of dickbags.
Somebody said, oh.
As strangest things. That's what they are. They're fucking strangest things. They're like if the Stranger Things kids were into sports and grew up and then cucked each other.
Well, the one guy's wearing Peyton Manning, and somebody said Peyton played for the Colts.
I don't give a fuck.
I agree. I'm just saying what somebody said.
What, Peyton played for the Colts and the Broncos? Okay, remove that guy from it. You have a Seattle Punters jersey. You have a fucking Teddy Bridgewater college jersey. I don't think the Peyton Manning kid was the one of them who was like, yeah, this jersey makes sense.
Yeah, this was an all-time cuck cam. You know what we should do? I was thinking about this. And now that I post these on Instagram.
Cuck Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree. Cuck Hall of Fame.
First ballot, Cuck Hall of Fame.
So what I do now is I post them on Instagram.
There is a fifth one of those friends who's not really friends with those guys. He's like, he hangs out with them, but he's not super good friends with them. And he literally fucks all of their girlfriends when they go to football games together. He's like, what time are you guys leaving? Yeah, for sure. And then he goes over to the fucking sorority house and goes room to room cucking these guys.
Well, the cuck cam has its own tab now on Instagram.
Nice.
So if you guys follow us on Instagram under the story section, because I have to highlight all these. And we've gotten some nice DMs from people who clearly don't listen to the show that are just learning this, which will hopefully get them to listen to the show, being like, the one dude's like, dude, this thing is so funny. But you have that occasional person. I'd say 90%, 95% of people get it. You have that occasional person that's like, what's your problem? Like,
I dealt with that a couple years ago when I tweeted, you don't wear jerseys. You don't wear, like, your random team jersey to the Super Bowl party. And somebody was like, what's wrong with you? It's a celebration of football. I was like, actually, it's not. It's two teams playing for things.
You know what the best
This isn't a celebration of football day.
You know what the response is?
It's not the Hall of Fame game.
I even got somebody on Twitter then to write, fair enough, good point.
Yeah.
This is my response now. Do you wear a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops to a funeral?
Yeah.
He got exactly where I was going with that. He's like, okay, fair point. It's like, it's pretty,
I don't get where you're going with that.
You're not dressed for the occasion correctly.
Right. Oh, that was your point?
That's my point. You're not dressed appropriately for the occasion.
I just love the idea that all these guys' girlfriends get fucked by the same guy while they're at football games. He just walks. I swear, he walks dorm room to dorm. He walks dorm room to dorm room in college, and the girls are like, "Hey, TJ, you weren't wearing a costume last night." He's like, "Yeah, it wasn't fucking Halloween. Now take your fucking pants off and shut up." And they're like, "Okay." Is Brian at the fucking Colts game in a Terry Bridgewater jersey? Yeah, he is. I don't get it. Yeah, because it doesn't make fucking sense. Bend over.
You know what you just created? You created like a whole porn category.
A porn category. The porno that's beyond cut cam porn.
Yeah, you created a whole porn category.
Like the porn starts with like, "All right, babe, I'm going out. going to the game with the crew. We're going to check it out. And she's like, why are you wearing a Teddy Bridgewater jersey? He's not on the Colts or the Broncos. He's like, you don't get it, babe. It's football. It's my football jersey. She's like, all right, have fun. And then door closes. 5 seconds later, knock, knock, knock. It's like, yeah, do you go out in a fucking jersey if a team is not playing? She's like, yeah, he did. I didn't get it. Yeah, 'cause it doesn't make sense. Take your pants off.
Unreal. Prano, you got to be concerned right now, though. You're 7 games back. You lost 2 more.
I mean, I'm concerned, but I'm not, like, super concerned. Like, yeah, I don't want to be 7 games back, but I'm not like, oh, God. We're halfway through the season.
You're 7 games back halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Like, you got to start making up ground every week.
Or I don't. We'll see. I mean, the Houston Astros were 2 games back.
Can I be honest, though? I'm a little worried that you're not going to fulfill your end of the bet.
Excuse me?
I'm a little worried.
Excuse me? We made the insane clown posse bet in 2014.
2017, but yeah.
Did I dye my hair purple? Fucking 2 days after the fucking game, 2 days after the bet ended?
I saw that picture recently. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Don't worry. I'll fulfill it. Honestly, I don't even remember what the bet is, but I'll fulfill it.
You wearing the L chain for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Or me. The L chain's going to get a little redo, too.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
I got to go to Michael's. I got to make it through the fires. Go to Michael's. Get the appropriate coloring. I'm not an artist, if you haven't noticed.
No, we've noticed.
I have no artistic ability. All right, we made it through week 8. Almost. We have one more game tonight.
Do we? Are you watching that game tonight?
I am.
Are you watching it just to tweet?
No, I'm watching it. I have this weird, I don't know what it is, man.
You have a weird obsession with Mason Rudolph?
I have this weird chance, like this weird hope that the Dolphins give him a game and maybe win. You're saying no chance.
I'm saying, but what? That's interesting to you?
Oh, yeah. That would destroy people in my survivor pool.
Okay.
So, like, my survivor pool this week, I believe it was 83%.
And you didn't take the Dolphins.
I took the Rams Bengals game, so I took the Rams. Like 83% of my survivor took the Vikings, the Rams, and the Steelers. And
my brother asked me, because he's in a survivor pool. I didn't do survivor this year, and I said, take the Rams. I go, the Rams, it might be a close game because it's in London, but they're not going to lose to the Bengals.
Yeah. And that's the same reason I didn't take the Vikings. That was a good game. I just didn't feel but like I don't know, man, something about this. Maybe I've heard you slurp Fitz too much. Something about this tells me, and I could be completely wrong, obviously, but I don't know, man.
Are you saying you believe in magic? Is that what you just said, basically? Do you believe in magic?
There's a lot of people that would be crushed.
Are you Googling, is magic real?
No, I'm going to look to see how many people picked. Oh, yeah, bro. 69 entries.
Did you do 2 entries?
I did 2, yeah.
And you've already lost 1?
Yeah.
Is it a 2-strike league? No.
I think there's a problem with this league. You can buy back in up through week 7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, up through week 6. But it gets the pot huge. The pot's probably over $50,000. But the problem is we have 303 entries still surviving.
Right.
But if the Steelers somehow lost tonight, who's the guy who took the Broncos this week? Who's that person?
Somebody who, like me, also doesn't believe in Jacoby Brissett.
Let's talk about him, Joe.
Let's do it.
There was a epic text exchange yesterday.
Yeah.
Between you, me, and Tug Coker. All over your boy.
Jacoby Brissett. Josie Brissett. I'll get it one day.
You have turned
Jacoby
into
Brissett.
Just an anti
Well, so
Jacoby Brissett guy.
I'm not an anti Jacoby Brissett guy.
You are.
it's funny because you literally did the same thing last week. You literally came to the show. You're like, I'm itching for tomorrow. I can't wait. I got stats pulled up about Lamar Jackson. You're never going to believe it. This Lamar Jackson, I'm a Lamar Jackson truther. But then yesterday, you're like 5-2, all that matters. You literally said 5-2, all that matters. You texted that in our group text yesterday. 5-2, all that matters. The Baltimore Ravens are 5-2.
This is why I think they're
different. Is that all that matters?
This is why I think they're different. If you want to compare, I didn't know you were going to go there with this. If you want to compare,
I'm not even going to go there. I'm just bringing up the hole in your logic. My logic is very simple. I don't want Lamar Jackson or Brissett if I'm trying to win a Super Bowl.
My logic is this with Brissett. We don't know. He's never played a playoff game, and I've said this. We don't know. I've seen Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. I've seen his throwing ability, and Jacoby Brissett's also he's not a runner. He didn't run the ball. He's legit pocket. That pass he made.
He's not a legit pocket passer. Please don't say that. He's not a legit pocket passer.
Why isn't he?
Well, for many reasons. One, he threw until the 2-minute drill yesterday. Frank Reich had called 6 passing plays in the first half. 6. Late in the second quarter, he had thrown the ball 6 times. 6 times. 6. Here's why I don't believe in Jacoby Brissett, and here's why I am anti-Jacoby Brissett as the Colts quarterback this year. First of all, the first one was I was geared up this year, and I'm revealing this for the first time. I was geared up this year to make a bold Colts prediction on the season. Andrew Luck retiring pulled that rug out from under me. I saw Frank Reich, year 2, the rebuilt offensive line anchored by, no joke, a generational player in Quentin Nelson. A generational, if he continues to play guard at the level he's playing guard so far, he will be the best guard in history. A generational talent. A defense that has improved over the last couple of years. All-pro running back or all-pro potential running back in Marlon Mack. Great receiver in T.Y. Hilton, who was always feasted with Andrew Luck. I was ready to make a bold claim. Then Luck leaves, and I was like, I kind of want to stay on this. Let's see what move they do. And their move was, we're just starting Brissett, and we're extending him. And I just thought that was reckless. I still feel it was reckless. And nothing has proven to me that it's not a reckless decision to try to ride with Jacoby Brissett in a year where I think they are truly could have been contenders.
They are contenders.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
And here's the second reason is because I bet on the Colts yesterday. And then in the first half of the game I go, I'm losing this bet, and I'm losing this bet for all the reasons I don't believe in Jacoby Brissett, because it's halftime and he's thrown 6 passes.
It's not just about Jacoby Brissett.
No, it's not.
They're 5-2. You are what your record is, famously said by Bill Parcells. They're 5-2. They won 10 games last year. They're on pace to win 10 games again. They won a single playoff game last year. And this is what I also presented in the group text. If they win one playoff game and win 10 games in the regular season, they will have done just as well under Jacoby Brissett as they have under Andrew Luck last year. So then it begs the question, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Well, what we're talking about, again, is them not winning one playoff game. We're talking about them being contenders.
They are contenders.
I don't believe that they are. And I don't believe they are for one reason, because I watched that game yesterday against the Broncos, and I go, oh, you're a team that can do one thing on offense. You can run the ball, and you can throw wide-open passes to fucking Tank Doyle or whatever the fuck the tight end's name is, who they run a play action this way, and then they find him open on the fucking side. Guess what? That strategy doesn't work against the New England Patriots.
Okay.
It doesn't. And guess who told me a couple years ago, Bruno, you're embarrassing yourself. Fucking Jags defense is legit. Fournette runs the ball so fucking great. You hate on fucking Blake Bortles. They're going to do it. We'll show you. And they did. And they made the AFC Championship game. And they gave the Patriots a game. And then they turned the ball over to Blake Bortles with the game on the line. And he took a hot shit in his pants. And they lost to the Patriots. I do not believe.
Who told you that?
Literally thousands of fucking, what was his name? Assface or whatever. Was it Assy? Tom Assy, Swingman 9. Oh, do you remember all the fucking Jags fans that I had to deal with? Raymond Ass. There was dozens of guys. It's defense, run the ball.
But hold on a second. Like this is what I don't understand. They're playing fine. And by the way, you're not 100% correct in that assessment. The week before, against the Texans, he threw for 4 touchdowns. He threw for 300 yards. It's a week-by-week basis here. You can't just cherry-pick them deciding not to throw the ball much one game. They did throw the ball last week, and Brissett played great. Look, dude, I was anti-Brissett when the season started.
Not on pace for less yards than his rookie season. This will be the first time that T.Y. Hilton doesn't put up a 1,000-yard season since his rookie year. He has 360 yards on fucking how many receptions? 360 yards on 32 receptions this year.
Again,
they throw the ball to fucking Jack Doyle.
It doesn't matter. Dude, they're winning games. Like,
okay.
what are we arguing here?
My argument is then you believe in Garoppolo, you believe in Goff, you believe in Lamar Jackson, correct? Why is this different? Why is it different for me to say their record is great because they're running the ball and they're protecting a quarterback and they're playing decent defense, but I don't believe that they can do this 4 times in a row. Do I believe that the Colts could beat a Chiefs team in the playoffs? Sure. Do I believe that that in some miracle on any given Sunday that they could beat the Patriots in the playoffs? Yeah. Do I think that Frank Reich has the decided coaching advantage over Bill O'Brien, and if they had to meet in a first-round matchup, that the Colts could beat the Texans? Of course I do. Do I think that in a quarterback shit off between Lamar Jackson and Jacoby Brissett in a game where we're going to watch a high school game from the 40s and they've both run the fucking option all day, that they could beat the Ravens? Yeah, I do. Do I think that they can do all of those in a row? No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't
fine.
think that they can do those in a row.
You don't, and I disagree.
My problem is this. And Tug goes, what do you want them to? I go, if you're a contender, I don't want you to say, we're not going to contend because of our quarterback. The window
they
in
are
the NFL,
contend. They're 5-2. You are what your record is. They're 5-2. Like what are
okay.
What are we debating here, Joe?
We're debating exactly what you debated last week with Lamar Jackson.
No, because with
Lamar Jackson, by the way, is grossly outplaying Jacoby Brissett. Grossly.
Not passing wise.
It's not the passer back. It's the quarterback. He's outplaying Jacoby Brissett.
I literally just brought up Lamar Jackson's numbers last week in his last 5 games against good competition. Lamar Jackson has thrown 5 touchdown passes in 5 games. Jacoby Brissett threw 4 just last week. So he's not outplaying him, dude.
He is. You fucking love it. For total QBR on the season, Lamar Jackson is 7. Jacoby Brissett is 18, right above Case Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston. In total QBR for the year. You love facts.
Well, again, how much?
You love facts.
Hold on. Again, how much of that was the first 2 games?
How much of that is Lamar Jackson last week beat the fucking Seattle Seahawks handily in Seattle. Jacoby Brissett yesterday played to a Vinatieri 50-yard field goal to win the game. Because down the stretch, they refused to let him throw the ball.
I trust Frank Reich. I think he knows what he's doing.
I trust Frank Reich, too. He's a great quarterback. And honestly, my problem with it is you can say whatever you want. Maybe Frank Reich doesn't think that they're contenders this year. Maybe Frank Reich is playing, hey, this is the long game. I don't need to fucking go out and trade for Eli Manning. I don't need to go out and get Phillip Rivers this offseason. Give me 2 years of Brissett to build this team, and I'm going for a 2021 Super Bowl.
I mean, that's just a wild, like, the Eli Manning thing to me, like, you're just, like, what planet are you living on that you're telling me they're better with Eli Manning? Like,
yes.
Like, that's.
No, and by the way, better, no, but have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl. And I base that on Peyton Manning and his run with the Broncos where he couldn't throw the football. And they had a good defense, and they had a good running game. And he was able to make decisions at the line.
Eli doesn't make that play that he made yesterday. Eli gets sacked on that play where he breaks the sack and he makes that amazing pass. Eli gets sacked there. 100% he does.
Okay.
Dude, Eli hasn't won a playoff game since 2011. Like,
Jacoby Brissett hasn't won a playoff game ever.
True.
Jacoby Brissett.
He hasn't played in one either.
Jacoby Brissett's, everybody always wants to look at what guys do until a guy does what he does. Jacoby Brissett isn't playing better right now than Eli Manning played last year. He's not. He's just plain not.
Dude, I think you're too warped on this Eli thing.
It has nothing to do with Eli Manning.
But it does.
It has to do with the fact that they have a contender in a team right now, and I think that they are limited at quarterback.
And I'm saying any team that's 5-2 on record, including the Baltimore Ravens, is a contender. They are. By definition, you are a contender if you're 5-2. If you're 6-2, you are a contender.
Okay.
You're in the thick of it.
I disagree.
Okay, that's fine. But by my standard, any team in the NFL who's 5-2 or 6-2 is a contender to compete for a Super Bowl.
Agree to disagree. I do not think that you are. I watched that game yesterday with $100 on the line and said there is no fucking way this team beats 4 good teams in a row to win a Super Bowl. No way. 0% chance. 0% chance.
And you
also, by the way, I think the Saints might be the best team in football. I think the Saints might be the best team in football. They're a contender with Drew Brees. I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl with Teddy Bridgewater. And I don't think that's crazy to say.
It's not a matter of saying that the team is definitely – I'm not saying the Colts are going to the Super Bowl, or I'm not saying whoever's going to the Super Bowl. But, again, this idea of being a contender, I think you never know when it hits the playoffs. And to be honest, I think New England, as great as they're playing defensively on a historic pace, they've played nobody. They've literally played nobody.
And in terms of how New England's playing defense, okay?
I would take the 49ers right now over anybody in the NFL.
Okay.
Anybody.
You think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL?
I do.
And so you think they have the best chance of winning a Super Bowl?
I think right now, again, things can change. I need to see New England play. I want to see New England's defense.
You have one pick to win the Super Bowl. Who are you picking right now?
Either New England or the 49ers.
Wait, hold on. You just said 49ers over everybody.
I said right now.
What is giving you pause?
The 49ers are playing the best. Well, because obviously New England has the experience and they have Belichick. Obviously. I'm saying, but playing right now as far as playing.
If you had New England versus the 49ers in the Super Bowl right now, today, tomorrow, next week, New England versus 49ers in the Super Bowl, who are you taking?
That'd be tough. I'm like sick of betting against the Patriots because they always win.
Would part of your concern of betting against the Patriots be that Jimmy Garoppolo has to go up against the Patriots defense, like Jared Goff went up against the Patriots defense last week? That would be my concern. I would bet everything that Bill Belichick has a plan, just like he did in a million times in the past, on how to stop Marlon Mack off tackle, fucking Jack Doyle in the flat.
You're bringing it back to the Colts.
I'm going back to my point. I think.
But what's the definition of contender? Like this is where
Super Bowl winning potential. You can win the Super Bowl this year. You can win the Super Bowl this year. Again, I think with Andrew Luck.
Who's on that list for you right now, Joe? Who's on your current Super Bowl contender list?
The Packers.
Okay.
The Saints.
Okay.
The Patriots. The Chiefs.
See, I have a much bigger list.
That's basically my list right now.
Much bigger list.
Okay.
You don't even have the 49ers on there.
Right now, I like the 49ers. I think the 49ers are fantastic. I have the same concerns with the 49ers as I have with the Colts and with the Ravens. You can score 51 points, and you can dominate all these teams defensively, and you can run the shit out of the ball. But in a 51-point game, Jimmy Garoppolo is throwing the ball 11 times or 17 times or whatever it is. It's like, hey, I get that your fucking team is awesome, and I get that you have that pass rush that is going to make even a Tom Brady and a fucking Aaron Rodgers have tough games. But are you going to do it 4 games in a row? At some point, your playmakers need to make plays. And I need one of your playmakers to be your quarterback. And by the way, Lamar Jackson is a playmaker, and he's that quarterback. But again, I just don't see that being a strategy that works 4 games in a row. We're going to go 4 games in a row and hope our quarterback runs for 160 yards on the ground.
Well, most teams aren't going to. Well, first of all, take the 49ers. See, this is where I guess we just disagree. You're right. He only threw the ball 22 times yesterday. That's it. But again, my argument about somebody like a Jimmy G is, of course he only threw it 22 times. They rushed for 232 yards.
I'm just going on the eye test. I like Jimmy G. I think that Jimmy G can end up being, but like, there's also.
But Joe, this is where I don't get you. You're on. You have to be a game manager first.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Jimmy G is,
and so is Brissett. Like these guys are showing that they are game managers.
First of all, Brissett yesterday fumbled the ball away and basically almost cost them the game. Then they get it back. Then he has a great play down on his goal line. But then again, they refuse to just go down and try to win the game. Frank Reich, genius Frank Reich, great coach, no doubt about it. Maybe the next Bill Belichick, maybe he's the guy who's going to do this. He's going to turn Jacoby Brissett into Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he's going to game manage his way to a Super Bowl this year, and then he's going to game manage his way to 8 more. But to me, if your strategy is, I don't trust my quarterback enough to go down and win this game, I'm going to settle for a 50-yard field goal to win or lose this game. To me, you're not showing that much confidence in your quarterback.
But again, they're winning these games. It was the same beef or qualms that you had during the Kansas City game. And my argument back again was they're winning these games.
Yes, they're winning these games. Absolutely, you're
like
absolutely
yesterday, the 49ers, they rushed the ball 38 times for 200 yards. Jimmy Garoppolo only throws for 175 yards. They're winning these games.
Yep.
So my point is, I just don't get what we're debating here. Is
Coach,
that
quarterback, defense, run the ball. 4 things. Okay? San Francisco is certainly moving up the fucking list. They're running the shit out of the ball.
How did the Patriots win the Super Bowl last year? How'd they win the Super Bowl?
They shut down a fucking questionable quarterback who scored 3 points in a fucking Super Bowl game.
So the Patriots won last year because they played great defense. They didn't do shit offensively.
Yep.
They ran the ball decent. So my point is that was a formula to win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady didn't do shit in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady threw, to remind everybody, Tom Brady threw 1 touchdown pass the entire playoffs last year. 1. Even against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, what did the Patriots do? How did they game change? How did they plan? They ran the ball. So my response to you is this argument of you got to have this guy I'm confused because you're the guy you don't want your quarterback to lead the league in yards, which I agree with, but now it's almost like you want him gunslinging more?
No,
what do you want?
No, I don't want him gunslinging anymore. We can call Tom Brady game manager all we fucking want, but the bottom line is Tom Brady is going to go there's never been a point in his career, even before anybody knew who Tom Brady was, that I didn't feel like the coach of the New England Patriots doesn't trust Tom Brady. I'm sorry. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me Frank Reich has all T.Y. Hilton, we're behind him. We believe. We believe. T.Y. Hilton can believe all he wants. Look at the fucking game tape. Watch the game. Watch the game like I did yesterday with $100 on that game going, no doubt about it, the Colts roll over this fucking Broncos team, right? And they go, he's thrown the ball 6 times in the first half. How are you ever going to cover a 6-point spread throwing the ball 6 times in the first half, being a one-dimensional offense? The New England Patriots are not going to have trouble in a one-dimensional coaching against a one-dimensional offense. They shut down Jared Goff last year in the Super Bowl. That offense is way more than one dimension. I'm sorry. You could, like, I jumped on board for yesterday, and then I was like, this is why I shouldn't have jumped on board.
It's one game, man.
No, it's not one game. It's also the Chiefs game. It's also the Chiefs game where they absolutely didn't.
And they won both games,
And
dude.
they won both games. And the fucking Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl in a year where Doug Peterson went for it on 4th down every fucking time. How has that worked out before or after that Super Bowl run? Sometimes you get a fucking hot streak. Sometimes you hit on 16 and you keep pulling 4s and 5s. In the long run, you're going to get some fucking face cards.
But again, we're talking about your list of – you're not even putting the 49ers on a contender list right now.
I need to see Jimmy Garoppolo.
Your list right now is the Saints, the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Patriots.
And the 49ers are roaming.
You have nothing about the Rams, no Seattle, nobody else in the AFC. And that's wild to me.
Like I'm saying, I'm not betting on – and, like, if I have money to sprinkle around on those teams, those are the 5 that are getting money from me. I'll save my money on Seattle. I'll save my money on Lamar Jackson going 4 straight playoff games without getting hurt and going 150 yards rushing that they need to do. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Am I fucking counting on it? No. Now, here's the thing. Baltimore can do whatever Baltimore fucking wants to do, okay? You might not be a believer. I might not be a believer. But John Harbaugh can believe all he wants. Do I think that 5 years from now, Lamar Jackson is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens? No. Do I think Jacoby Brissett should have been extended? No. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, but you also didn't think Russell Wilson would be on the Seahawks in 2019.
Right. And guess what? Russell Wilson, I'll give you credit where credit's due. Russell Wilson's playing fucking great this year. Russell Wilson's getting the ball out fucking fast. Russell Wilson is awesome. Fantastic. Is Russell Wilson a top 5 quarterback in the league? Not to me still.
What?
But it is what it is. My problem with Russell Wilson was never Russell Wilson is bad. My problem with Russell Wilson was Russell Wilson is overrated. That's my problem. Russell Wilson's finally living up to any sort of hype that he got for years. Russell Wilson is an MVP candidate. But just my problem was everybody telling me Russell Wilson was an MVP candidate in years before this when he absolutely wasn't. I don't, by the way, I've said over and over and over again, all of these guys, but Jacobi Brissett is better at playing quarterback than I am at anything.
Well, obviously.
But my question is, where is he? Tug talked to me yesterday. Jacobi Brissett is the 19th fucking paid quarterback in the league. So they're not overpaying him. No, they're perfectly paying him because by QBR, he's the 19th best quarterback in the league.
So you go by QBR now?
No, I don't go by QBR. I go by a lot of things, including, and most importantly to me, the eye test. When I watch games against teams and they just refuse to let him win the game, I'm just going, I just don't see that being a strategy 4 games in a row. I don't see that being a fucking strategy. And by the way, again, I think that this Colts team was ready to make a huge leap this year because, like Tug, I believe in Frank Reich. I think that their defense hasn't been amazing. Their defense has been good. Their defense has been really good. But their defense isn't lights out. This isn't the defense that you can just go, hey, let's win every playoff game 16-15. That's not their defense this year. The defense is like 14th and 15th in like points and yards, 13th and 14th, something like that. It's not like crazy. Meanwhile, you have Houston's defense, New England's defense. Like there are defenses that.
But Houston's defense is more suspect, especially now that they lost J.J. Watt.
Sure, certainly now that they lost J.J. Watt. But are you telling me that in a first-round matchup, Houston on the road in Indianapolis, you feel super confident Indianapolis wins that game?
No, and again, at the end of the day, I don't feel insanely confident with any game with Indy. I'm just saying, I'm just judging things by their record and what happened again last year.
But all I'm trying to make people understand is this.
But if you want to
but hold on. All I'm trying to make people understand is this. If we all agree that Frank Reich can coach circles around butt-chin O'Brien, that Bill O'Brien is a fucking joke, okay? That Indianapolis has a better running game, that Indianapolis has a better offensive line, that Indianapolis has a better defense, but that we're not all saying Indianapolis, absolutely no doubt about it, beats Houston in a first-round matchup in Indianapolis. What we're saying is the huge question mark is the Houston Texans quarterback outplaying.
Well, obviously,
Jacoby Brissett.
Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback. No one's denying that. He also has better weapons, I'd argue.
T.Y. Hilton's pretty good. Has been in his career. I mean, he has 360 yards on the season.
I know, but he's also got Hopkins and Will Fuller. I'm just saying, I'd argue he's got better all-around weapons at the wide receiver. I'm not going to argue Deshaun Watson versus Jacoby Brissett.
It's not about arguing. It's about saying literally everything else is stacked in Indianapolis' favor, but we're talking about the scale tipping back to even because of how much better we think Watson is.
I mean, it's also a division game.
Do you remember last year when it was Indianapolis Texans and everybody – I've been so critical of Texans and everybody was like, fuck you, this is the thing. And I was like, you're not winning this game. You're not winning this game. You're not fucking winning it. You're not winning it. I remember exactly where I was where I watched it. I was at the bar across the street from the House of Comedy in Arizona. I was there with Eddie in January. And what happened? Andrew Luck fucking carved them.
I agree, but again, look, dude, I pulled up Andrew Luck's playoff stats. I think you have a short-term memory on like how great he's playing. I mean, these numbers aren't insane. Obviously, it's a team game. I'm just saying, like, the guy has 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions on 56% completion for his entire playoffs.
Yep.
He went 4-4.
Yep.
I'm just saying, those numbers right there, those are not insane playoff numbers.
Right. I get it.
At all.
And by the way, the reason I was high on the Indianapolis Colts this year, the reason I wanted to make the bold Indianapolis Colts claim is because this would have been the second year with Frank Reich, but this would have been a year with a great coach, with a healthy Andrew Luck, with a dominating offensive line, with a good running game. This is, the 2012, 2013, 2014 Andrew Luck. Yeah, did they make an AFC Championship game? But we're still talking about, like, they didn't have Frank Reich. They didn't have a dominating offensive line. They had Andrew Luck.
Well, they had him last year.
Right.
How'd that work out in Kansas City? I'm just saying. They didn't win.
Right.
Should we get to our conspiracy theory?
We can do it.
I think we should get to that. As many of you know, we've had an ongoing battle with number one Jameis Winston fan on Twitter, Jameis1of1.
Which, like I said, we blocked him. He blocked us. He's a Bible-thumping weirdo who's like has some crazy mental illness that causes him to defend Jameis Winston literally no matter what. 5 turnover games, 4 turnover games, constantly losing, playing below his potential, leading everybody in turnovers. Terrible record in his career, getting benched by Jameis Winston, getting benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick, the whole thing. Okay, we blocked him. He blocked us. He shut off his comments on his Amazon feed. It's done, right? It's done. But then we come back to Captain Catfish, Captain Fugazi. I saw
A. Millie
reply to a tweet yesterday saying, I've been saying it all along, this is Jameis. Which made me think of something. First of all, I don't think this is Jameis. And, Tug has accused me of being racist at this point.
That was a joke.
Tug has accused me of hating black quarterbacks. Okay? Just saying, this happened. But, so take that nugget when I say this. But I think this is too well written, as ludicrous as it is, to be Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston is talking about the barbecue behind his fucking parents' house when he was growing up and eating L's and eating W's and all this stuff, I'm sorry, I don't think he's writing about era-adjusted stats. I don't think he's writing I just don't think he's writing this stuff without as ludicrous as the content is, I still don't think it's Jameis.
Well, here's the situation then.
But
go ahead.
This is the next level. I think there is a grand conspiracy here.
This is a dirty sports conspiracy
within the Bucs organization for some reason to stand behind Jameis Winston, to protect Jameis Winston, to stand for Jameis Winston, to keep Jameis Winston as their quarterback. So this is something that has slowly morphed over the years. Firing Dirk Cutter doesn't exactly scream like, what the fuck are they doing? He obviously wasn't good. But Dirk Cutter obviously wasn't a Jameis Winston stan.
He benched him.
Okay? There was clearly a decision, Jameis over Dirk, although you could argue that Dirk deserved to be fired either way.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That's just the beginning. Then we've got this weird thing where Jameis was benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. Ryan Fitzpatrick gets to leave and literally go across the state, go downstate to Miami. Why would you let Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy who was, no joke, an MVP consideration?
All right. All right.
After a couple games last year, yes or no?
I mean, Joe, come on. The first 2 games of the year, come on. He played 3 or 4 good games.
You let him leave for nothing. You
MVP.
You decide to back up Jameis Winston, a guy you benched last year, with Ryan Griffin, who has never played a single snap in the NFL. Now the icing on the cake to me is they bring in Bruce Arians, quarterback whisperer, guy who made Carson Palmer an MVP candidate, guy who did this in Arizona, guy who did that. Okay. You bring in Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, no joke, is standing at a podium post-game, week in and week out, and he's saying out loud, there's video of this, week in and week out, that 4 and 5 turnover games are not Jameis's fault.
Yeah.
And then this is where A. Millie comes in. A. Millie points out Jameis1of1 does not tweet during Bucs games.
Yeah.
He goes dark for 5 hours each Sunday during Bucs games. Is Jameis1of1 a Tampa Bay Bucs employee of some level? Is it Bruce Arians? Is it the GM that drafted Jameis? Is that guy even still there? I don't even know enough about the Bucs.
It's some assistant.
Is it an assistant? Is it the scout that said he's a sure thing?
Here's the thing.
Is it Jameis's
It is crazy because
dad, brother, uncle?
At this point, it went from us laughing and trolling to like, wow, this guy wrote a book that Jameis Winston is a sure fire Hall of Famer.
I brought this up last night in conversation. The Jameis book might be the biggest piece of evidence yet. Who sits down and compiles this? I would argue
this is wild.
I would argue
this is wild
that the information in the book was already compiled Because who compiles 400 pages worth of information on Jameis Winston? Well, the Tampa Bay Bucs do, but does some just lone source do that? Also, why is this person anonymous?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here that we think is a legit conspiracy.
This is what was the fucking Mitt Romney fake Twitter name? This is, Pierre Delecto or whatever. This is Anthony Weiner's fucking Weiner account. This is a Twitter. This guy is a member of the Bucs.
We need to find out who this is. And we want to enlist all the dirtballs possible because this is important. Now, we know he's done some interviews. I need to listen to these interviews. Supposedly, he's done these interviews. But Prano has a great point. If you didn't watch the game yesterday, Jameis had 2 more interceptions and 2 more fumbles. So he has 4 turnovers in one game. And he's right. Bruce Arians, we both did deep dives. Bruce Arians is going into a press conference defending 4 turnovers.
He's saying that picks. He's saying 2 interceptions are not Jameis' fault. One, he throws to no one. He throws the only person in. If you take a screen grab of the interception, the only person in the screen is a Titans defender.
Yeah.
Then his other pick is him having a ball batted by a defensive lineman. Correct?
No, his other pick was the one at the end. Is that the one you're talking about, where there's no one near him?
Didn't he have one, or is that a fumble? He has. Oh, you got a strip sack and the ball went in the air.
He got a strip sack, and then his other fumble was the snap went straight off his face mask.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was him or the center's fault on that. But as of right now, halfway through the 2019 season, Jameis has 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 3 fumbles lost. He's fumbled 8 times, 3 fumbles lost. So once again, this year, Jameis leads the NFL in turnovers. The entire NFL. So we are now in season number 5, guys. Jameis Winston has led the NFL in turnovers for 5 straight years. I mean, this is a wild stat. For 5 straight years, he's led the league in turnovers. And as we know, and we've talked about this isn't the old Brett Favre gunslinging days where guys just throw interceptions.
Yeah, exactly. That's, that's something Jameis1of1 is big on, is like Fouts, Favre,
Peyton Manning's first few years.
Blah, blah. It's like the game has changed. There was a time when throwing 58% of your passes was very reasonable.
Yeah.
Now, 58% of your passes puts you at the bottom of the league.
Jameis Winston right now, on top of the turnovers, him and Baker Mayfield have the lowest completion percentage of all the NFL, like Joe was saying, at 58%. So you're right. That's a terrible percentage.
That's and honestly, that used to be totally reasonable.
Totally reasonable. And Brett Favre throwing 15 interceptions in a season.
And adjusting. The other thing is adjusting. Doing what? Forget it. Adjusting Hall of Famers to current level. It doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't even make sense. So that's the point of this Jameis1of1 guy. We need to find out. We're onto our own conspiracy. We want to break to the world.
The idea that this is just some ludicrous Jameis fan.
There's no way.
Was one that was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. We're going to block him. But now, this is an actual, I actually have a conspiracy that the Tampa Bay Bucs, there's a grand conspiracy here that this is part of the Bucs. It's not just Jameis1of1, by the way. I don't want to expose the Bucs for being behind Jameis1of1. That's not my ultimate goal here. My ultimate goal is, why are the Tampa Bay Bucs conspiring to defend Jameis on a whole? If the Bucs had any option at backup quarterback, people would be calling for Jameis to be benched. The only reason they're not calling for Jameis to be benched is because Ryan Griffin has never played a snap in the NFL. How do you honestly run an organization and have your backup be a guy who has never taken a snap when your starter has led the league in turnovers for 5 straight years?
Yeah.
There is a grand conspiracy here. Is it?
This isn't, by the way, this isn't I saw somebody just post a comment, stop giving this moron airtime. Guys, we're being legit here. This isn't some moron.
This isn't about Jameis1of1 anymore.
This is about our conspiracy. We think this would be a national story. We're being dead fucking serious.
Yes. The Bucs, as an organization, are conspiring to prop up a terrible quarterback. Why?
We legit believe this.
I legit believe this, and I believe that the piece of cheese that led us to this story was this weird book and this weird anonymous thing. But I actually think that is just one cog in a huge conspiracy that includes whoever Jameis1of1 is, Bruce Arians, the GM, the depth chart, Jameis himself.
It doesn't add up. Prano's right. Like, we're not even making a joke here. This doesn't add up. You have a quarterback who's led the NFL in turnovers for 5 straight years, who's not winning games for 5 straight years. It just, like, we legit think this is a conspiracy. And we want to find out. Like, I want to find out who's behind all this.
And why is the big question. Why?
Can you imagine if this got picked up? Like, if we broke.
We are picking up. We are the story. That's why I'm saying we have to get to the bottom.
But I want to crack this.
Yes, we have to crack. That's why we're talking about it.
So that we have Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, fucking breaking news on this.
Anybody who has the ability out there to find out where somebody is tweeting from, where is the IP address that Jameis is tweeting from?
Yes.
Like, is this in Tampa? Is this in Raymond James Stadium? I am not joking.
I agree.
I think that this weird nugget that we came across, because this guy tweeted us, I think this was his fatal flaw. He tweeted at me about Jameis, and now we are going to expose.
Wow.
You are a member of the Tampa Bay Bucs in some regard. That's why you're anonymous. That's why you don't tweet during games. The person in charge of you having a propaganda campaign on the internet about Jameis is also the person telling Bruce Arians, defend Jameis at all costs. Get on a podium and say that he is not responsible. How can Bruce Arians? I mean, I know Bruce Arians wears a Kangol full time, but this is his worst look ever. He goes to press conferences and says a quarterback with 4 and 5 turnovers a week isn't responsible for those turnovers.
It's wild. I've never seen anything like that.
If you take all of these things separately, you can defend them. When you look at them all in one thing, it's the JFK conspiracy. It's like, could Lee Harvey Oswald have gotten off 4 shots and 2 headshots in 2.5 seconds? Theoretically. But then he gets murdered the second he gets to jail. Then the guy who murders him gets murdered the second he gets to jail. Like, when you take them all, yeah, could that happen? I guess. But when you look at them all together and the bullets, like, Jameis1of1 is Lee Harvey Oswald. Bruce Arians is the head of the CIA. The Dirty Sports Couch, is the grassy knoll. This is where I am Kevin Costner. And bring it all the way back around. Remember when you watched Kevin Costner? I'm not even Kevin Costner. Louisiana's own A. Millie is Kevin Costner. Just like Kevin Costner is down there in New Orleans. A. Millie's down there in New Orleans. Digging, sniffing around. A. Millie's like, hey, Jack Ruby, post a picture of yourself with a fucking spoon, bro.
This is wild.
I'm telling you, I know people like move on. I'm like, I need people who are into fucking hacking and shit.
I agree.
This guy is in the Bucs organization.
We need to find the IP address, because this is when I started watching the press conferences last night with Bruce Arians, I was blown away.
I was like, is he under mind control?
That's what I'm thinking.
This is MK Ultra shit.
How does a coach defend?
Is that really Bruce Arians?
4 turnovers.
That's the question. Is that Bruce Arians? Or is that a bot? Is that a sim of Bruce?
I don't know, man. Shit got wild. Absolutely wild. Can we talk about the Browns for a second?
Yeah.
How many games did the Browns win? The Browns are 2-5.
What a debacle. Who do you put this on most? Freddie Kitchens? I mean, I assume. They're just so sloppy. They had a potential throughout the first half of that Patriots game.
Yeah.
To be in that game.
100%.
And every time they had a chance of being in that game, they gave it away.
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, look, the Baker thing is whatever. Like, I've never been a Baker stan. I've never really been on the Baker train. I think I was pretty outright in saying that taking Baker at 1 when you had the 1 and the 4, like I was a diehard. That was terrible. That was a terrible move because you have 5 other quarterbacks you can take at 4, and you could have had Saquon Barkley. Now, Nick Chubb is fucking fantastic, but it's not all Baker and Freddie Kitchens. Like they're browsing.
But where do you go from here? Like that's what I'm already thinking. I'm already thinking next year and the years ahead. It's like you have all this talent. Odell Beckham Jr. is on a historically low pace. All his numbers. He's not even on pace to have 1,000 yards.
I know.
He has 1 touchdown. He's on.
Eli Manning was the problem with Odell.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to bring Eli into it.
Eli, that was part of the Eli thing was that, Odell and Lil Wayne sat down and did the whole thing, right? That was the thing that got really a ball rolling on. Eli has to go. Now his receiver's not even defending him.
Well, I don't know what they're going to look. I was against the Freddie Kitchens hire. I said they should have hired Greg Williams. They went with the offensive coordinator. But it's not just, dude, Baker, you're year 2. And I get he's still early in his career. But how many guys can you remember who've had this big of a regression from year 1 to 2? Who were the number 1 overall pick? I can't remember. Off the top of my head, who's had guys? He has 6 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and
yeah,
I know and I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, the drops." Sure.
The thing about drops is that's all gonna fucking.
It evens out.
It evens out a little bit. It's like, yes, you can say, "Hey, Baker's not as bad as his numbers," but you can't say Baker's playing great quarterback. If not for the drops.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in not all interceptions are the same. I absolutely am a big believer in that. But we're not talking about Baker. We're not seeing the Baker 3rd and 25 punt interception. Baker threw an interception to a defensive lineman yesterday.
What the fuck was that?
By the way, Baker didn't get a ball tipped at the line. Defensive lineman comes down with it. Baker didn't get defensive lineman drops back into his zone scheme, and Baker accidentally throws the ball to him. Baker threw a shovel pass to a defensive lineman.
I'm sure you saw the gifs. It was the water boy.
Yeah.
Bobby Boucher gets the football and doesn't know what to do and throws it to the other team. He's awful. The numbers don't lie. Baker is, again, it's not just the interceptions. Completion percentage. Baker is arguably playing, really not arguably. Who's playing worse as a starting quarterback in the NFL right now?
Yeah. I haven't looked at all of the numbers, but he's throwing a bunch of interceptions. He's not winning games. He's not completing a high percentage of passes. He's getting sacked a lot.
He's playing worse than any other quarterback. We're talking about a meteoric drop in his level of play. I wouldn't be shocked if they finished. They have an easy schedule the rest of the way. I looked at it. I wouldn't be. They're 2-5.
Would you be shocked if they 8-8?
No, I actually wouldn't be shocked. I'm projecting 7-9. But again, my point is, where does that then take you next year?
Yeah, that's why a little bit I put it on. Not a little bit. I put it majority on Freddie Kitchens is like. Baker.
They're undisciplined as fuck, dude.
Exactly. And, it's crazy, but, this is the thing with we go back to Brissett, we go back to Frank Reich, we go back to whatever, is like Frank Reich's not asking Brissett to do too much. And that is working for them in terms of winning games. And that's working for them because he isn't the number 1 overall pick and blah, 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 blah. So you can have that approach. Now, again, I think that your quarterback needs to be able to take a game over and win games if you're going to win a Super Bowl. But no one was talking about Browns Super Bowl.
Well, irrational people were.
Right. Like, I picked the Browns to win the division, but never was I like, oh, Baker Mayfield's a Super Bowl winning quarterback right now. Their defense is a Super Bowl winning defense right now. And that to me, again, is really in the NFL, it's Super Bowl or bust. But, like, when you're the Browns, and a couple years ago, you go 0-16. You get the first overall pick. You take Baker Mayfield. You get Odell. You get Landry last year. You have a good defense. You have Chubb. You get fucking the dude from the Chiefs who will come back after suspension. Kareem Hunt. You have to say, this is the beginning of us building towards something, and that's why being 2-5 is a train wreck.
Well, I know I sent you this, but here's an interesting little rug nug that was taken from a tweet from a Twitter feed, New York Giants Daily. It's kind of crazy. Baker Mayfield versus Daniel Jones this season.
Right.
And Daniel Jones has played 2 last games. Daniel Jones, 1,466 passing yards. Baker Mayfield, 1,496. So they're only 30 yards apart. Daniel Jones, 10 touchdown passes. Baker Mayfield, 4 touchdown passes. Daniel Jones,
6 touchdown passes.
Yeah, sorry, 6. Daniel Jones, 7 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, 12. So side by side with 2 less games, Daniel Jones is playing way better.
And Daniel Jones has lost a bunch of fumbles, and Daniel Jones hasn't been spectacular.
But both teams have the same record.
Yeah, and by the way, the Browns have way more talent than the Giants.
Way more talent.
Especially on defense.
Yeah, I agree. So, but I think that was an interesting side by side, guys. There's no statistically, there really isn't. There's no starting quarterback who's played all 7 or 8 games who's playing worse than Baker Mayfield. There's just not. Who? Who's played all the games? Now, I know a lot of the shitty teams have rotated quarterbacks, but I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, I mean,
Andy Dalton's played better than him. The Bengals are 0-7. You look at Andy Dalton's numbers, he's played better than Baker Mayfield with a lot less talent.
I mean, I'm just going to take a look to see if I'm forgetting anybody in particular. I mean, Darnold obviously has been playing awful. But
I'm talking who's played all year.
Yeah. Josh Allen's been better than him. I mean, Mason Rudolph is probably playing significantly better than him.
But he's also hasn't played, again, all year either. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield's playing the worst of any quarterback.
Flacco.
Okay, Flacco's probably up there.
I mean, Trubisky's been bad, but he hasn't been Baker bad.
He's not turning the ball over at that level. You just can't win games like we were saying, guys. This isn't the old NFL. Aaron Rodgers has 2 interceptions. Like the old days when Brett Favre was gunslinging, he'd have 15 interceptions in a year. Like you just cannot. You know why? Because back in the day, it didn't. Dude, when you turn the ball over in today's NFL, teams capitalize. Look what the Patriots did yesterday. The Browns were if the Browns don't turn the ball over, they're totally in that game. Instead, they're down 17-0, like that.
Yep. And even down 17-0, they were in the game. They score, they go up 17-7, they have a ball, they have a chance to drive down and tie it. They don't tie it. Patriots come back 24.
Yeah. It's crazy. You want to do some DirtBall calls?
Sure. Is that everything you got? Because I don't have anywhere to be today, Andy. So if you want to go deep, you go deep.
I mean, obviously we didn't cover a lot of the games, but that's fine. We have our discussions, which I enjoy, and kind of let them go where they go. I think for sure some side, quick hits. The Falcons have to fire Dan Quinn at this point.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not? I know a Super Bowl appearance along with, but like, again, I got burned on the Falcons. The Falcons are incredibly talented.
They covered for us though.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
After that 24-0, was it 24-0 they were down?
Yeah, with Schaub. You got to fire him, right?
They got to fire him. And I don't know what's going on in Chicago either.
The Bears, I mean, like.
Talk about a disappointing team. They're not going to make the playoffs.
It's funny because, you talk about Dan Quinn. He's a couple years removed from a Super Bowl, and they're, 1-6?
Yeah, or 1-7, whatever it is.
Whatever. And the Bears have how many wins? 2?
3.
3.
They're 3-4.
And no one's talking about Matt Nagy. And honestly, let me say something right now. I'm not a big fan of putting it all on the coach. I think a lot of times, especially in the NFL, coaches get fired. Pat Shurmur has lost me as a fan and a defender because week in and week out, Giants games. I mean, again, Giants came back. They cover. They were in the game despite a horrific start. Week in and week out, he makes just some of the dumbest calls I've ever seen. Punting late in the game when they're, within striking distance. Yesterday, there's a horrific pass interference call on 4th down. They go for it on 4th down and in the end of the game. There's a horrific non-call on pass interference. Now, the NFL pass interference challenge rule is an abomination, and they should remove it immediately. Immediately. Do not wait for the offseason. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just eliminate it because you're just stealing challenge flags and timeouts from coaches because the egos on referees, they blow a call and then they blow the replay call because they won't admit they're wrong. But that being said, Pat Shurmur doesn't throw the challenge flag. I get it. You're not going to win. But also, the game is over if you don't challenge it. It's over, and he doesn't. He's taking those timeouts home like he's fucking Andy Reid. Like, what are you going to do with it? The game's over. You have to challenge it. Pat Shurmur has lost me.
That was a fun game last night, though. Matt Moore played well.
I watched it. Your boy, Airplane's own legendary director and Packer fan, David Zucker's house.
I bet he was happy.
Yeah. He watches it on tape delay. He pauses his game. And he starts it late. So I was like trying to stay off Twitter just so I didn't find out the score.
So what does he do?
He starts it late. He skips through commercials. He skips through replays of the play. He goes from snap to snap. It's actually kind of remarkable. But he's not live tweeting or anything.
So what time did you get to his house?
6:45.
And he started the game
at 6:45. He was like waiting for me to arrive. Game started at 5:20.
What a lunatic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's fun though. Legendary. Legend.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious guy. He's hilarious to be around.
He's amazing.
He's the most negative. He's more negative about the Packers than I am about New York Giants. He like takes sports negativity to a new level, and I love it. I'm now aspiring to be more negative. He was just like, "That's it. We're gonna lose." Like everybody, like third and 4, they get 3. He's like, "That's it. Game's over. This always happens to the Packers."
God, that pass Aaron Rodgers had, man,
incredible. And right after they were showing his pregame flicking.
Who can make that pass?
Not a ton of people. What on the run, falling?
Mahomes. I think Russell Wilson can.
Watson.
Those were my list.
Who are we missing? I mean, look, Danny Dimes has dropped a few dimes.
Oh,
might be too early to say.
Come on.
Might be too early to say.
I'm thinking quarterbacks who are mobile.
Yeah, talking about mobility and arm angle. Honestly, like even saying Wilson and Watson is like we haven't seen it from down here yet. We haven't seen those guys like.
Did you see that play Watson made after getting kicked in the face?
Yeah, incredible. You have that on your list. You have quarterbacks. We take over Watson right now. Tug knows. I'll take all the white ones.
Man, you and Tug.
I mean, Tug straight up called me racist.
He was joking.
I hope so. But he kept bringing it up.
I feel like you and Tug need to air it out, man.
But the thing is, I said yesterday, there's nothing to air out. The airing it out is that there's a lot. It's what's called a wedge issue, right? Like Christians believe abortion is murder, and other people don't believe it's murder. Other people believe it's. So you're never going to convince somebody. You're never going to convince like a religious person that women should have the right to choose. It's like the right to choose what? Murder or not murder? You're never going to convince somebody. You're never going to convince me. Tug's talking value and what he's worth and what they could do in this situation. And I'm just going, hey, man, if this is the 3-hitter on a baseball team and, Alex Bregman retires and you replace him with 80% of the player for 20% of the value, yeah, fantastic. You did something. It's a 162-game season. The blah, blah, blah. Baseball players only so much. Replacing a quarterback on a contender that is Andrew Luck was, whether you like it or not, on his way to being an all-timer. Statistically, he was the best quarterback prospect ever came out. Taking a guy who was, on his way to being a Hall of Famer and no doubt about it, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL on a team that I believed and was ready to claim make a bold Super Bowl prediction on with a guy who, in my opinion, can't do it. You're just never going to get me to come on to that side of that line. I used to make this bet with one of my friends. He hated Barry Bonds. Hated him. Steroids, piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. So I would always, the last 5 years of Barry Bonds' career, I'd make this bet on whether or not Barry Bonds would hit over 300. And every year he would try to just get better odds out of me. He's like, oh, you don't think there's any chance he does it? 15-1. I go, make it 1,000,000-1. It doesn't matter. The guy's on steroids. The guy's one of the greatest hitters ever. They're pitching around him. He's only swinging at pitches he can hit. He's going to hit fucking 300. So 5-1, 10-1, 20-1, 1,000,000-1. I don't care. You're wasting your money betting against him here. Hit him all you want. I'm going to win this bet. So I'm just looking at it as going we're basically betting straight up here. It may as well be a 1-to-1 bet.
Yeah.
Oh, so if I bet you 10,000 to 1, yeah, I'll bet you $5, bro. If I lose, I'll give you 50 grand. It's not going to happen. I just don't. You're never going to convince me. I am a Christian right now that believes abortion is murder. You're never going to convince me that Jacoby Brissett can play 4 fucking games in a row.
He can if he does it.
Can if he does it.
Or 3 games. Who knows? They could get a bye. All right, let's get to some dirtball calls. Let's bust out the old hotline. Let's see what we got today. Let's. Do we want to continue this? Somebody made a call about Jacoby Brissett. I don't know if I want to continue this.
Last week you were all. You made the guy. Is this guy gonna make me say I'm wrong? Is that where we're at here?
No, it's somebody. I think we've played this out enough, and I'm sure we'll continue to have this discussion.
Oh, now I'm seeing it on the fucking rundown. Backing Prano on Jacoby Brissett. Oh, this one we're skipping over. Fucking doing Halloween 5 days out and skipping Brissett calls at this point.
Okay, I'll play the goddamn call.
That was some Tampa Bay Bucs level conspiracy shit right there. You were trying to sneak by.
Hey, this is Gage, Minnesota Dirtball, long-time listener, first-time caller. I wanted to call in and make a comment on the Jacoby Brissett situation.
How stoned is this guy?
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know what any of y'all are talking about on Joe having to take an L on this or admit that he was wrong. What was he wrong about? Jacoby Brissett's played a season and a half of games, and he's thrown for 5,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. There's nothing special, super special about the guy that we've seen yet. Yeah, maybe we could get more than a season out of him before we start talking about shit. Like, Blake Bortles threw 35 touchdowns in a season. That's about what Jacoby Brissett's got now. I live in Minnesota. When we had Sam Bradford, he had a 5-game stretch where people were calling him the MVP of the league. So I pumped the brakes on Jacoby Brissett a little bit. But, yeah, condoms are for Joe Flacco. Peace.
Look, man, I'm not anointing Jacoby Brissett myself an MVP or anything.
You're saying you are is your record.
I'm just saying he's playing. Look, the team is 5-2. He's putting up decent numbers. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And you did call him trash. He's not trash. That's what the caller. So, dude, I don't think you listened to the call. Prano in the preseason, you did verbatim call Jacoby Brissett trash. He's not trash. He's just not trash.
Is Case Keenum trash? I just want to know, is Case Keenum trash?
No, I would not call Case Keenum trash.
You wouldn't call Case Keenum trash?
No.
Okay. Case Keenum's been trash for the Redskins this year. Yay or nay? By the way, I'm not calling Case Keenum trash either, but Case Keenum has or has not been trash for the Redskins this year.
I'll be honest.
He got benched for Dwayne Haskins and Colt McCoy.
I know, but I'll be honest. I don't fully know his numbers.
Okay. He's been trash for the Redskins this year. He also was awesome on the Vikings. And their record was great. And they beat the Saints on the miracle play. And then he got fucking exposed in Philadelphia. And then the Minnesota Vikings moved on from him for Kirk Cousins.
Which is the debatable move.
Sure, certainly a debatable move. I wouldn't have extended Keenum, that's for sure.
But you yourself said last week that he's not trash. You said it.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just saying, being on a good team,
it helps anybody. Agreed.
Yeah, right.
It helps anybody.
Like Jacoby Brissett did look like trash when the Colts weren't as good.
He got sacked 50 times.
Yeah, Andrew Luck didn't look trash on that team.
Andrew Luck had some bad years, man, when they were bad. Get you a Brissett jersey, brah.
Get me in the fucking get me a Tampa Bay Bucs one, because that's what it'll be in 2 years when they fucking smoke out the rat inside the Bucs organization, and Frank Reich goes, fuck, we gotta pay Quentin Nelson quarterback money.
I can't wait to expose this guy down in Tampa. Okay, let's continue the quarterback discussion with some other stuff.
Hey, what's up, Joe and Andy? It's your local Washington DirtBall stuck in Connecticut. I have a quick question for you guys. If you had to choose between any of 3 backup quarterbacks right now, who would you choose to trade to the Chicago Bears? A, Ryan Fitzpatrick, B, Marcus Mariota, or C, Cam Newton? I feel like any of these 3 would be an upgrade to Mitchell Trubisky, but I'm curious to see what you guys' take is. So stay dirty and keep it coming.
It's a good question.
It's kind of a wild
scenario.
It first of all, I mean, the Bears should be thinking about something like this, right?
I know who I'd take,
but there's pros and cons for all of them, and I honestly don't know where I rank any of them. Fitzpatrick, like,
if you have a good defense, you don't want a guy who turns the ball over.
So who is that?
That's Fitzpatrick. For
Okay.
me. So he's out.
Okay. So you're taking Fitzpatrick out for turnovers, which is what I was going to say too. More loose with the ball,
yeah,
but also a better passer than the other 2. Cam and Mariota, you're able to play a style that's closer to what the Bears play now, RPO.
Yes.
Right? But Cam, with the defense, Cam is also less accurate.
If Cam is healthy, I go Cam.
But even healthy Cam, like, again, we're talking about the way the game was played in 2019. Healthy, like, when was healthy Cam the 66% passer guy?
Last year.
Okay.
He finally did. Well, he did it under, Norv Turner came over.
So are you going Cam in this situation?
I am.
Because honestly, I don't hate Mariota either when you look at not turn the ball over guy, be run pass option guy.
The Titans are 2-0 without Mariota.
Yeah. No, I get it, but also the Bears defense is crazy. The Titans did win a playoff game with Marcus Mariota. And a good defense and a good running game.
I still go Cam if Cam's healthy. Cam has playoff experience. He's been to a Super Bowl. He won an MVP. Mariota has never even come close to the level of Cam as far as Cam's
So you're
best
ranking
ability.
them Cam, Mariota,
I'd probably go
Fitzpatrick?
No, I'd probably go Cam Fitz Mariota. I'm not a big Mariota guy.
He's accurate.
You know what Mariota needs? He needs a Jameis1of1 account in Tennessee to save his job.
I mean, the thing about Mariota is, I'm torn on whether or not Mariota goes to Bears with that with an offensive genius and is like the player everybody thought he was supposed to be.
Nagy's not an offensive genius.
Right, I know, but I'm just saying.
But again, my thing, guys. Whether we're talking Mariota,
I'm going Fitzmagic. Let's go. Bears to the Super Bowl. Give him a fucking headband. Let him Jim McMahon it. Fitz.
I mean, this is Mariota's
By the way, turn the ball over a little bit. Fuck, who cares?
This is Mariota's 5th year. This is the argument on all these guys. This is Jameis Winston's 5th year. We're not talking their second. We're not talking Baker Mayfield, who I'm still like, well, we'll see what happens. It's the 2nd year. It's his 5th year. Like, I have enough stats. I have enough eye evidence. Like, this is your 5th year, man. But I don't know. Dude, think of one. I'm serious. What quarterback has just suddenly blown up after their 5th year?
Right. No, I mean but again, Marcus Mariota did win a playoff road game
In Kansas City. Yeah, he won a playoff road game.
Won the AFC South.
But I just, again, I don't know, man. You see enough by, like, that's why there's so much flaws in this argument. Like that, and I hate to keep coming back to it, but whatever Tampa Bay Buccaneer employee is running Jameis1of1 always brings up Brett Favre, the comparison. Guess what and I get it, it's a team game, but guess what Brett Favre did in his 5th year? He won the Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, yeah, and the guy always brings up no NFL team wants Dan Fouts right now or Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a guy who's going to throw more picks than he's going to throw touchdowns.
Yeah.
No one wants a guy who's going to get gaudy yardage stats and never win football games. Like, Dan Fouts is an antiquated quarterback.
Yeah.
The end.
All right, let's get to a couple more calls.
What's up, guys? Corbin from Colorado. I always call in to ask questions about the Chiefs, so here's another one. Is Travis Kelce in the GOAT talk for tight end? I know it's early, but he's got to be up there, and he's definitely the best tight end in the game currently. Let me know what you guys think. Stay dirty.
I mean, he's got a long way to go.
I just want to pull it up because I want to see tight ends all time.
I mean, guys, we're talking Tony Gonzalez all time. Off the top of my head, is I'm pretty sure top 3 in receptions, both like all-time receptions, receivers and tight ends. Same thing for touchdowns. Jason Witten. I mean, Antonio Gates, Rob Gronkowski.
Travis Kelce has played, this is his, what would that be, his 6th season or his 7th season? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 7th season. He's currently got 452 receptions. Now, that's pretty good. 452. Witten has 1,200, and he's in, year 17 or whatever. So Tony Gonzalez is 1,325. The bottom line is there's a lot of guys when you look at Gates, Witten, Gonzalez. Those guys are top 20 all-time in receptions. All-time.
All-time. Receivers included.
Receivers and tight ends. Yeah. So you got to catch Gates in receptions. You got to pass 17 in receptions. Let's be honest. All-time, it's a longevity question as well. That's why I say, fucking kill yourself when you called last year and said Rob Gronkowski is the best tight end of all time. It's like you've also got to be able to do it for a while.
Yeah.
You've just got
you know what's funny about the Gronkowski argument, and it's always coming from the Patriots fan, is they brag about how many years their quarterback has played.
Right.
But then it doesn't matter when they talk about their tight end. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So Tom Brady's, and by the way, and it does matter. Tom Brady has only had one injured season where he shredded his knee. That's one of the greatest things about Brady, his consistency.
When I did the Kobe Bryant shot challenge, there was a lot of GOAT thrown around the next day. A lot of GOAT, the GOAT. How did he do it? He's the GOAT. Listen, am I proud of that performance? Yeah, I am. Am I the GOAT drinker? There's a guy at the Cock and Bull who has had 17 beers every day for the last 60 years of his life. That guy's the GOAT. Quietly, day in and day out, consuming 2,000 calories and, however many percent alcohol. The guy has been crushing Guinness for 60 years. He's been crushing more Guinness than I drink on any given night for more days than I've been alive and then some.
Yeah.
I ain't the GOAT, man. That dude's the fucking GOAT. You got to do it well, and you got to do it long. If Travis Kelce plays 20 years, 15 years, if he does what he's doing for 15, 16, 17, yeah. But, man, that's a big ask.
Probably not happening.
But good luck to him. I like Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he's a great player. What?
Yeah, he's a great player.
I'm just saying, I don't think people realize.
Just dismissing him.
No, I'm not dismissing him. I don't think people realize how long and how good Tony Gonzalez played.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's Tony Gonzalez, then there's everyone else. I think he's that good.
Yeah.
He was that good for that many years. I'm already seeing a comment in the YouTube. It's wild. The Gronk fans just creep out. He was an all-around tight end. Yeah, Gronk was, but he didn't play that long. I don't get why that is so hard for people to understand.
And he didn't stay on the field.
Guys, he didn't stay on the field. How many this? I'm getting annoyed right now. This whole argument. I don't care what fucking sport it is. You have to play the games. End of story. If you're not on the basketball court, if you're not on the baseball field, if you're not on the football field, if you're not on the field, you're not in the equation. You're just not.
And like I've said,
Jesus.
And like I've said, and this is the Joe Prano injury theory that I think gets one of my many great theories that I think gets washed over and pushed under the rug. Your stats are what you do when you're on the field and what your replacement does when you're not on the field. Eli Manning was never as good as Tony Romo unless you consider the fact that John Kitna was in for 3 games at the end of every season for a while. The quarterback production of the Dallas Cowboys in those years was Tony Romo and Matt Castle and John Kitna and fucking Drew Henson and whoever. The quarterback production from the New York Giants those years was Eli Manning. The tight end production of the San Diego Chargers for the better part of 2 decades was Antonio Gates. The tight end production from the New England Patriots was Gronk and his replacement.
End of story.
Gronk played in the Super Bowl against the Giants, and he got out-jumped because his fucking back was hurt. Well, that's part of the deal, man.
It's just
you are yourself and your replacement. That's why I demand Tug replace me on this show. This seat has a standard that has to be met.
It's just wild to me. Like people come in.
I love Andrew Slater, and I love Brant Tobler, and I love Matty Goldberg back in the game. But look, we need to have a fucking Joe Montana, Steve Young situation over here. This seat has a standard that has to be upheld. That's why I say this is my official replacement. Every once in a while, it's fun to get fucking Yoshi in here running the porn Wildcat.
The porn Wildcat. I just don't get this argument when you're not on the field. I just don't get it. It goes for all sports. If you're not playing, you're not helping your team.
And if you play a style of play when you are playing that leads you to not help your team by getting hurt, it's a factor. It's like 100% a factor. Tony Romo's bones aren't more brittle than Eli Manning's. Ben Roethlisberger's bones aren't more brittle than Phillip Rivers. Those guys play a style of play that puts them in contention for being injured. Tug might think that, like, I think Cam Newton's bones are softer because of, like, sickle cell or something, but I think it's because he runs the fucking option, and he's running off tackle. It's hard not to hurt your shoulder when you're a fucking tailback. And that is a factor in Cam Newton as a player. Cam Newton is great because he runs the ball. Cam Newton gets hurt because he runs the ball.
It's so important to be on the field in the NFL because it's so hard. It's not easy to do. You see it week in and week out. Guys not playing. I mean, look at the Packers right now.
Where's J.J. Watt?
Well, I'm glad you brought him. Like, that's the thing. I was going to bring up Devontae Adams for the Packers, but how much he would have helped the Packers recently.
Year in and year out, J.J. Watt hurts something different.
Well,
the dude's got a bionic arm on. He's got a pectoral muscle. He's got a shoulder. He's got a knee.
3 out of his last 4 years, J.J. Watt has been placed on the injured reserve list. 3 out of his last 4 after he didn't miss a game his first 5 years. Guys, he's not helping the team. He's just not.
He's helping the team when he's out there.
He's great when he's out there.
But now when he's not out there, he's the same cap number, and he's got a backup playing his position.
Why is that so hard for people to understand? I just don't get it.
And by the way, there's something about what Watt's doing. Watt's a big fucking dude. Is Watt carrying too much weight? Is he lifting too many fucking tires in the offseason? Is he playing too much fucking... Like, I know that a lot of shit is luck, but a lot of shit is not luck, too. Tom Brady has a fucking, Latino handmaiden that fucking jerks him off in some sort of sauna and mouth kisses his children and sucks the souls of the young. Whatever. But he's figured it out. He's figured out how to stay on the field at 45 years old. There's a guy who's massaging the underside of his dick in a hyperbaric chamber prior to fucking playoff games that has sideline passes, and they've created their own method.
Yeah.
It's, is it legal? Is it, something you even want to see?
I mean,
Maybe
everyone has their own method. There's the
Yeah.
Tom Brady method. There's the Phillip Fudging Rivers method. He never misses games. All he does is procreate. That's his method. Pump out kids, don't swear, and that will keep him healthy on the field.
And there was a thing a couple of years ago. I said this. I bring it up with Eli Manning all the time, but it goes for Peyton Manning as well. There's a thing. I forget how many years back it was. 4 or 5 years back now, where Archie Manning basically said he had to learn. His life was in jeopardy every time he played for the Saints. They were so bad. He was running around. He's like, I had to figure out a way to survive and he talks about this thing that he would do on plays where those 3rd and longs where it was like, he's like, we're going to punt anyway. He would short arm balls and protect himself on the follow through. And he's like, I taught my boys to do that because that's when you get fucking hurt. Like going to launch one and somebody gets you right here and your arm gets torn out of the socket. And he even said, like, we don't have different, physical makeup. I've just taught them how to protect themselves.
I have found it interesting, guys who will always stay on the field and guys who can never stay on the field. Like, it isn't coincidence.
No.
Don't put yourself in reckless positions. R.I.P. Lamar Jackson.
But even Lamar does a great job of avoiding big hits. And Daniel Jones has done a great job in running the ball and avoiding big hits. But the problem is, and I cringe every time Daniel Jones does it, it's like it is a raffle. Like 1 out of 100, you don't see a guy.
You're getting nailed.
And you're getting fucking your bell rung.
What did my coach call it? And did you guys ever use this term? Slobber knocker?
No.
That's a slobber knocker over there.
Slobber knocker is what TJ's getting when he sneaks into dorm rooms and the cucks are all out at the fucking Colts game. He's like, is Tim out in his fucking Bridgewater jersey again? Yeah? How about a quick slobber knocker before I move on to Stacy's room? Take your fucking pants off.
Coming to Pornhub, Slobber Knockers 6, starring TJ.
Cuck cam porn.
All right, that's the show. We've gone on long. It's 2+ hours. Guys, hotline 310-359-8365. YouTube, subscribe. Instagram, Twitter, follow at The Dirty Sports. iTunes review, drop one, leave your Instagram or Twitter handle, get you a follow back. It's that simple.
At Joe Prano on Instagram, it's all that matters. At Fix Your Life on Twitter, joeprano.com for shows. Tomorrow night, I'll be at Dynasty Typewriter doing a compilation album recording called Valentine's Day is for Suckers. So come out to that if you're in L.A. Week before Thanksgiving, back in Tahoe. Week of Thanksgiving, I will be headlining a show, Lucy's Laugh Lounge in Pleasantville, New York, the best night of the year. We do it on Thanksgiving Eve. We don't do it on the Tuesday. We don't do it on the Monday. We don't do it on the Sunday before. We don't do it the prior Tuesday. We do it the night before. Best day of the year. Come out and see me headline Lucy's Laugh Lounge. I'll also be in New Jersey that week, hosting a show at the Morristown Performing Arts Center. And all my other shows, joeprano.com. Go there. Look it up.
Yeah, and if you want to celebrate Halloween with me, I'll be doing it all week, guys.
Yeah.
So hit me up. And also,
if you want to donate to the Patreon so Ruther can get his Lieutenant Dangle costume dry cleaned 6 times this week, it's patreon.com/The Dirty Sports.
Dirty Sports.
Dirty Sports.
Yeah.
The dirty is for Ruther's Halloween costume.
What do you think I'm doing in this thing? It's not like I'm sweating in it. You know, it's nice fall weather for us out here. The nice fall breeze with that smoke smell in the air. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. And most importantly, stay dirty.